Hello, this is Mr. Collier. Today we're going to look at measures of spread and we're going to be making box and whisker plots. So first a couple of definitions here. Well, the range is just the highest value minus the lowest value. And then we have something called interquartile range. So if you can calculate the lower quartile, which is the point at which there's 25% of the scores are less than that number, and the upper quartile, which is where the top 25% of the scores are, then we can subtract them. So you can do Q3 minus Q1 and you get your interquartile range, which is the middle 50% of scores. Okay, so first we're going to look at an example. We're going to calculate the range, interquartile range for each set of data. So here, we're going to do this one by hand and I'll show you how to do it with the calculator. First thing we need to do is write this in order. So it's 2, 3, and so forth, 6, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 15. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, good, I didn't skip anything. So now it's in order. I can look at my lowest value and my highest value and get the range. So the range equals 15 minus 2, which equals 13. And when we're looking at measures of spread, we often do a 5-point summary. So the minimum is 2, the maximum value is 15. So we got those so far. Next, to get the interquartile range, we're going to get the lower quartile and upper quartile. But first, let's get the median. There's 10 data values, so there's going to be 2 in the middle. The 2 in the middle are 7 and 8. So that means the median equals 7 plus 8 divided by 2, which equals 7.5. And then we're going to get quartile 1 and quartile 3 by splitting the data into two sets or two subsets. So I'm going to split it right there at the median, which is 7.5. Then we'll look at the upper half of the data. There's 5 pieces of data, so that's the one in the middle is going to be Q3, and the one in the middle here is going to be Q1. So Q1 is 6, and the upper quartile is 12. So that's our 5-point summary. Your interquartile range equals 12 minus 6, which equals 6. So those are answers to that. Now I'm going to show you how to do that with the graphing calculator. So I'm going to go first to go to Stat and go to Edit and press Enter. So when you go Stat and Edit, then we're going to put in a list here. If you have something in the list already, you can go up to the list and press Clear and Enter, and it's cleared. Over here I've got the data values entered already. So I entered them all in there. And then you can go to, well, there's a couple things we could do. Let's click on Stat again. You go over to Calc, and one variable statistics, press Enter. It'll give you a bunch of statistics. So I gotta press, the data is in L1, so I'm gonna go second function L1 and press Enter. And it gives you some things. It gives you the mean is 8.2. The sum of all the data is 82, and we'll talk about these things a little bit later. There's 10 numbers in there. But if you scroll down, you get your 5-point summary. So that's just like we had before. The minimum is 2, then 6. So these are all those are all correct, and we can even graph or make a box and whisker plot. So if we go to second function and go up to Stat Plot here, first I'll press Enter here, and we need to turn the plot on. Okay, so I got it on. And down here you can select various different graphs. I'm going to select box and whisker plot and press Enter. Oh, so it already picked L1 as my list, so that's correct. And I think for zoom, if you scroll down, And this is usually the case when you're doing statistics. You want to select zoom stat, which is 9, so you can just click 9 here, and we'll have the right zoom. So there's your box and whisker plot. All right, that's what the box and whisker plot looks like. So we're going to go on to another example. All right, so in this list, we could do it by hand, write them in order, and calculate everything by hand, or you could type them into a list. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to clear this first. Enter, and I'm going to type in all those data values. Okay, I got all the data entered. I'm going to go to one variable statistics here now. And L1. Enter, and scroll down. And there's my 5-point summary. Alright, so there's my 5-point summary. To answer the question, the range is going to be 19 minus 3, which equals 16. And your interquartile range, you have to do Q3 minus Q1, which equals 13.5 minus 6.5, which is 7. That's equal to 7. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so next, so here's what a box and whisker plot looks like. Remember to always have a number line below it so we can read the values, right? So the box and whisker plot represents the number of times to the nearest hour, or nearest 0.5 hours, that 80 motorists took to complete a journey from Hamburg to Munich. So we're going to look at the box and whisker plot, and notice that we have 5 important parts in the box and whisker plot. That's just your 5-point summary. This is your lowest value. This is your Q1, the lower quartile. This is the minimum. That's the maximum over here. This is upper quartile, and this is your median. Okay, so find the median traveling time. Well, that's just 12 hours. The shortest time taken is 8.5 hours, or 8.5 hours. And the time of the slowest journey, so slowest journey would be, looks like 15.5 hours. Alright, find the number of motorists who took more than 12 hours. Well, 12 is your median. That means 50% of the motorists took more than 12 hours, and that's going to be half of them, so there's a total of 80, so there's 40 motorists took longer than 12 hours. Find the time interval for the fastest 25%. So the time interval for the fastest 25% would be right here. Okay, that's your upper quartile to the maximum. So that's 12 hours to that's 15.5 hours. Okay, or we can write it like this. T is less than or equal to 15.5, greater than or equal to 12. Alright, so what's the interquartile range? That's going to be, so your IQR is Q3 minus Q1, which equals, in this case, is going to be 13.5 minus 9.5. So 13.5 minus 9.5, which equals 4. Okay, actually I made a mistake back here with the fastest 25% of motorists. It should be right here. I went for the median. That should be 13.5 hours to 15.5 hours. Okay. So next example, so we're going to be comparing two different box and whisker plots here right now. So Allison and Alan work for the same real estate agency. Their sales figures per month are given below. Display the data in the box and whisker plots so that the two sets of data can be easily compared. Who is more consistent? So let's take a look at that. We're going to type in all these data values into our calculator and then make a box and whisker plot. So you need to go Stat, Edit, and you need to make two lists, one for Alan and one for Allison. Okay, so I'm going to clear that and type in all the data. Okay, now I've got all the data in, and I'm going to go to Stat Plot now and plot the data. So, plot 1, I'll leave that as it is. So I'm going to go back to Stat Plot. I need to turn on plot 2 now, as I'm going to plot two box and whisker plots. So I'm going to turn on first of all, should be on there. And I'm going to go down to select this box and whisker plot here. So hang on. There we go. Alright, so I've got that. And I've got L1 in there actually. Right now I need to change that to L2, so I'll be graphing a box and whisker plot for L2 in plot 2. So that's all set up right, and then when I go to zoom, let's quit that, sorry. Zoom 9, gives me stat zoom. And there's my two box and whisker plots, right? So now the top one is going to be L1, and the bottom one is L2. So we can look at the data and see who's more spread out. So let me just get a snapshot of that. Alright, so if I look at the snapshot of this, look at the box and whisker plot, then you see here the interquartile range is different. Okay, and the range is also different. So the top one is the first list we typed in, which is Allison, and the second list is Alan. So it looks like Allison is more consistent, okay, because she has a smaller interquartile range. So most of the time, her sales figures don't vary very much. Okay, so Allison is more consistent.